Hi, I'm Jennifer Janish, owner of Adored Salon and Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions. I'm obsessed with curly hair. I cut it, style it, and extend it, and this podcast is all about my curly girl obsessions that stretch far beyond just curly hair. Hey there, it's me, Jennifer, from Adored Salon, Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions, Jennifer behind the chair, and the Curly Girls Obsessions. So today, what you are witnessing is me getting a hair extension install. I just took out my super long hair that I had to enter into my 50s with because I wasn't starting that era with short hair. And then I realized with the humidity and the heat in Chicago in August, I couldn't handle 3 rows again. So they're out. Now we're in the process of putting in 2 rows, hey Susie, for volume in my hair so that I have the extensions in and I can experience them today. So with me is Celia, Jackie, Chloe.
Hello.
And today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about their journey into hair extensions with me and how we all helped each other learn and grow and just all the things. So let's start with why you guys got involved with hair extensions. Celia's like, well, I started working here, and I had to start doing it.
It definitely was because I started working here. It was not something that I wanted to do at all.
It wasn't?
No.
What?
It wasn't. And then once I got into it, because I thought of it, like it's like, for me, when I started off, it was like, oh, it's such like a high ticket service that it made me like too nervous to do it. I was like, oh gosh, what if I mess it up and then they pay all this money?
Wait, back it up. So, have you ever messed it up?
No.
Let's talk about my head.
Oh, for sure. I think I actually found pictures the other day of like one of your rows that I stitched when I first started. It was really
Do you
bad.
remember when this side of my head was so janky and a bead was popping out of it? Yeah. Oh my god, it was so
really
bad.
thick.
It was
On an
so
actual
bad.
time, I've never messed it up. On Jen? Oh, please.
Well, I feel like
So
if you can
many
learn
times.
it on my head,
Yeah, it makes it easier.
you can learn it anywhere, right? Okay, so Celia never wanted to do it. Jackie, how did you get into it?
Well, when I assisted you at a totally different salon.
Come over here so they can see you.
Before Adored Salon was even a thing, and I was just an assistant. And
Yeah.
we would stay late, and
We had some
this was
fun times.
back when it was K-tips and tape and extensions were a big thing, and
Oh my God.
I would help Jen like custom blend them, and we would stay up really late and order food. And
Do you remember the tape-ins and the whole scenario of like when they first started with them? It's so easy. You can remove them and reinstall them in under an hour. And then we would remove them. Remember, it seemed like it was like orange glow on them.
the prep to like clean them and like get them ready to put them back in, and like
We actually had vats of dish soap and really hot soapy water to try and get the removal solution off of them.
so I guess
It
that's
was
how
horrible.
I got an interest in it. Was helping you prep extensions and watching you
yeah.
install them, and then I helped you install them.
Hours. We would stay at the
Hours.
salon until like 1 a.m, pre-blending and prepping those K-tips and the shit show of washing the tape-ins. And it never failed. It was like always on demand. You'd have the client in your chair and you were like, oh, well, they said that this is so easy, right? And then it was like the shit show in the back room.
And then I was the perfect person for you to practice on too, because
Yes.
you put everything in my hair after hours as well. So there was a lot of practice going on.
Do you remember, and you wouldn't forget this, but the one time you had the wefts with the beads already attached and you were allergic to the beads?
Yes,
Horrible.
but I was not taking those suckers
Right?
out.
Yeah, she
I
lived
just had
with
welts
it.
on my head and lived with it.
And it wasn't, let's correct this, it wasn't from the install, it was from the nickel inside of those
Well, because the beads would chip, and then the metal under, like, the coating would rub on my head, and
it was good.
I'm really sensitive.
Really good. All right, Chloe.
I feel like I was, in some sense, kind of interested in it. I knew I wanted to work with it, but it wasn't until beauty school until we were offered an extension course, and I was the only person there who, for whatever reason, I was the only person there who was certified to do it. And I had a handful of clients there, and these clients were like so dedicated to me, it was almost borderline creepy. And
in hair school?
Yes. And you remember?
So you took the hair extension like upgrade day
yes.
in hair school.
And so you did too. You were with me. No?
So he was like, hell no, I never want to do this shit.
But I did that. It was like literally like a 1, maybe 2 day course. And it was just tapes. All I learned was tapes. And my mom had tapes at the time too, which also kind of helped and made me do it more because my mom wanted me to do her hair eventually. And so I kind of realized early on how like loyal and dedicated those clients were. And I was like, well, I would like to have clients like that all the time. And then I had met you and started working here, and you had a different kind of extension. You had the wefts. And so I was like, well, this seems like 1,000 times easier to install, safer on the hair, better for the hair, like all of that. So I was like, let's do it. And that it was curly, even cooler to me. So that's kind of what made me want to do it.
Okay, do you have any big disaster that you want to talk about that
which
helped
one?
you grow?
Yeah.
Which was the biggest growth
I
experience?
would say with the texture matching and all of that. That's really where I feel like texture and density matching. Me and Celia had one client when we first very started out. We did it together, and we were a little cocky, I won't lie. We were a little overconfident in our skill. We had just started, and she was a younger girl. She was super cute. She was nice. I think she was home on like summer break, and her and her mom came in. She was like, she really wants extensions, and I really wanted this girl to get it. I really wanted it. And Jen came up to me and was like, Chloe and Celia, she needs 3 rows. And I'm like, Jen, shut up. Literally no. Like, we're not doing that. Like, she's not gonna like want to pay for that. She's not gonna want to do that. Like, we're gonna be fine with 2. Like, don't even worry about it. And you're like, okay, whatever. Like,
that was a moment in my mind. Probably, I'm like, okay,
yeah, and
you'll learn.
So we did, and the girl like was fine with it. But me and Celia, we were literally installing it, and we're like, uh-oh, we don't have enough, and this looks a real strange right now. And so she went home, and we were like, we kind of left it up to her. We kind of were like, let us know if you want a little more voluminous. And we're like, oh my God, you can see through the back. And then after that, she did call back.
She had really long brown hair, right?
Short,
but
thick
like
brown.
when you guys,
oh yeah, when
yes,
we were done,
yes. Okay, yeah, I know who she was.
And we fixed it, and it was really pretty after that, but that was probably that was very
What was
early
the
on.
fix? What did
Another
you have?
row, another 4 pieces of hair.
Did you have to remove and readjust, or did you just have to add?
I think we just popped it on
I
the top.
don't even think that we moved the other
No,
ones.
we just popped
You
it right on the
took,
top.
right, I think I remember this, like you got a little bit shorter
Yeah.
and put it higher up, because that's also too, I feel like one of the biggest mistakes people make when they first start out is they underestimate how high up they could actually put the hair,
Yeah.
and then you end up with the cap.
Yes.
It
And
looks
that's
like an unfinished 3 row. Like it was
Yes.
too low.
Like a,
Yeah.
like, Jackie, did you ever have a big mistake? I mean, I've had my fair share, God knows that, but like we all
I
learn.
think everybody's made the mistake of not putting enough hair in at
Yeah.
some point when it comes to texture. Like you just don't realize how much it's gonna expand. But I would say like the biggest issue that we ever had was like the overprocessed curly hair with the great lengths.
Oh.
and not having the hair in time. And
Oh
it was
my
a
God.
client who definitely was not going to walk out of the salon without hair in her head. And we had to break it to her that
she did a podcast about it. We talked about it on a podcast. That was the end of the K-tips for us, pretty much, because we were like, this sucks. And
I mean, it was like part on us, but also like,
well, the hardest part with that was
permed, and you can't control like if the company over processed it or not, because we weren't the ones doing the perm on it.
And we had to get the deposit in order to order the hair, and it was always down to the wire getting the permed hair. And then she had her hair out. You probably got the hair the day before.
Yeah.
She came in, got her hair out, got her bleach touch up, left with no hair because you had to leave it out for 48 hours with that whole system. And then Jackie washed the permed hair to make sure that it was okay, and it was not okay. And by that point, all the hair was out. Yeah, that was when we were like,
that was probably like the biggest
have to figure out something else here. Like, or I think at that point you and I just felt screwed.
No,
right?
They sent us
They did
us tape it.
But like, we had no other option still at that point. Like, I feel like you and I knew things needed to change, but the option wasn't available.
Right? As far as like a different
what were we gonna do?
Type of hair.
What were we gonna do next? Okay, so what was the motivation to keep you going when things got hard, Celia? Like, learning hair extensions, we all know it's not like AI, right? You can't ask the hair extensions to teach you how to install them. Like, you could ask AI, I don't understand how to use you. Can you teach me? Right? It's not the same with hair extensions.
Yeah.
You have to learn from someone who's experienced. So was there any kind of fear around that too when you were learning? Like, in the sense of like, okay, Jen and Jackie already really know what they're doing. Was it nerve-wracking, or did it make you feel better? You know what I'm saying? I remember when I went to Wedad in the salon, where already 3 other people knew how to cut it, and it was kind of like, you are either going to pass or fail this weekend, so you better pass. I was scared to death learning it, because I was like, oh my God, I have to over-deliver on this. Like, I really have to learn it. So what was the push, especially for you, because you said you didn't even want to learn it in the first place?
I think that it was definitely nerve-wracking, but it almost made it easier that you and Jackie already knew what you were doing, because then like there was always somebody to ask questions for that reassurance. So it was never like, oh my gosh, I'm on my own. Like, it didn't necessarily ever really feel like that. And then once I actually knew what I was doing, obviously the aspect of money, you can make money a lot faster doing hair extensions. And then I feel like just like consistently doing it, keep doing it, made it so much easier, because then it just comes like second nature.
How long do you think it took before it felt like it was second nature?
I'd probably say, I mean, at least a year.
Yeah.
Because it was just like starting off, all the people that I had for doing like the extensions, it was always a different experience. So it's like you always got a little bit of everything. So then it almost was like, okay, now I actually have to like put the stuff that I learned to work, because then you get different densities, different stuff like that. But now it's like,
fine. Let me just go back to my head really quick. Remember, when it's a volumizing, I don't love it super close. So you guys got it?
Yeah.
This isn't... Okay, back to the podcast. All right, what was the question I asked you? How long did it take you to feel like you mastered it? How long did it take you, Chloe?
I would say about a year, a little bit over. I think it's different for us, because it's one thing to master an install method, but it's another thing to master texture matching, density matching, color matching, customization. I think anyone can pretty easily get really good at an install method, because it's very muscle memory, but I think the hard part comes in with that texture matching and customization and knowing where to put which color weft, because it's not like, especially with us, we're never gonna just order one color of blonde or one color of brown. We're customizing each color, we're buying multiple different colors of wefts. So I think that's really where that took me some time, where it's like I could help you very early on get in some hair, but it took me a lot longer to really master the craft of like, no, this person is going to be a lot better with curly as opposed to beach wave, or this person we need to add in like a piano key weft because they still have dimension but they still want to be primarily blonde, like things like that. Whereas before I probably would have taken like the easy way out and been like, no, let's slap all number 5 in on her head if she has all brown. Whereas now it's like, no, if her hair has a wave to it, we need to use subtle body, and everyone has a light highlight, so put a number like 6 in there if we have it, like things like that. Where it's like it's a lot more customized to each person as opposed to an install method.
Yeah, I think too, like back to the mistake scenario, the other thing that can like mess you up a little bit in your head is you can think of how you're going to place the wefts, and then all of a sudden you think about, oh shit, I have to cut this.
And that was a huge one, cutting into the colors.
And thinking of what's going to be left over, right?
Standard B?
Yeah, if it's off that chair.
Yes, I just didn't know where you got it from.
Good thing someone knows what's going on. Okay, Jackie, how about you? Like, being that you and I really dove in with K-tips, and then we figured out how to master the blending of the hair for K-tips, because that was I feel like in all hair extensions, right? The first thing that we focus in on is color matching. With K-tips, we spent a lot of time figuring out, and I had that first horrendous install. Remember, that was highlighted, and I just did every other, and it looked like a checkerboard. It was horrendous. And then it was like, okay, we're gonna cut these down, we're gonna break them down, we're gonna pre-blend them, and then we figured that out. And then we mastered that install method. We mastered tape-ins was pretty easy for us. And then we threw it all upside down when we went and got certified in hand-tied hair.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it took a little bit longer than a year for me, but I also have the benefit of like, I started off just being an assistant, helping you. I like saw a lot of mistakes happen and knew what to not do before I started doing it myself. So, you know, then when it came time for me to go get certified in K-tips, I felt like I mastered that relatively quickly once I was doing it.
Yes.
But also because it was like I had already watched you make so many mistakes. I feel like once I actually went to get certified in it, I was pretty good at, like, it was more of like a skill thing, like a technique, like putting them in and not getting little crosshairs while you're, you know, applying them. And it was more of like the hands-on, like perfecting my skill in that way versus like worrying about making mistakes with pre-blending and matching colors and making sure I ordered enough hair, because at that point I felt like I already grasped like, oh, we need to order this many bundles for this type of install and this many bundles for this type, and then blending multiple different colors to make it look natural. I felt like that was already mastered before I was even doing it.
Because we did learn that together.
But I felt like we were like evolving for so long with extensions. Like Chloe and Celia came into the picture like after we started to do hand tied, and I like me and you spent so much time doing every type there was.
yeah. And then with hand tied, I feel like because we were so regimented with sectioning from our previous extension training, I felt like that made the move into hand tied a little bit easier because we knew what to look for. But then it was organizing the hair, the strands as you sewed.
Yeah.
Right? Like
placing them.
And then getting like, I do feel like it took me a good minute before I got an install where the stitching was so perfect. I was like, everybody come over here and look at this right now because this is so perfect. And because that was the hardest thing for me, was to not get extension drag.
Yeah.
It is hard.
That was the hardest. And the littlest tweak and no extension drag is just standing directly in front of the section. Like, once you master that, then it was fine, right?
Well, even I feel like there is something to say about Adored signature hair. I love stitching our hair.
Yes.
There's nothing
Oh my
like
God.
it.
Those short wefts are terrible every time.
Yes, those little skinny bitty baby ones. It's like, oh.
Yeah, that's a struggle. What was I was practicing something and I grabbed an old weft out of our stock hair from before we had the extension line, so it was like a regular.
Was it the hair I handed you the one day?
Yes.
It was weird.
Oh my
yes.
gosh! And I'm like, how do people stitch this?
First of all, it's like this big.
Yeah. So like
baby.
with the Genius weft, there's no knots. It's just laid out hair. Whereas with our hair being hand tied, there's knots, so there's literally direction on where you're going to put your needle through, right? And we stitch probably every 2 knots, we put a stitch so that the hair is perfect and then it zip locks together. That is not the case with a Genius weft. Or, right?
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
you're just, the hair is so close together that the rate of extension drag is so much more with that hair. And it was just such a freaking nightmare in general, right? Like, I was just like, this is terrible. And maybe it is because this is what we're used to, right?
I think it is, because when I had that one client with bone straight hair, I still am like, oh my gosh.
I
Not
remember
only
I had a stitcher with you one time and I was like, this is like
Hell.
terrible.
Yeah.
Because there's also like no like flexibility.
There's no
at all. I'm
flexibility.
like, what is that?
Well, yeah, because you're
It was
dealing
hard.
with, I mean, at the end of the day, that hair goes through so many more processes than our hair from the Indian temples. So, like, our hair is softer, it's fluffier, and then you've got the knots to help guide you through it. Yeah.
the knots are my favorite part.
The knots help so much. Okay, what would be, okay, with the curl tour, since Chloe's gonna go do her plane in a second,
I just got the phone.
what helped you the most as a stylist? Like, and even already having a really good you're leaving us. Let it be
For like 2 seconds. I just gotta
because I want to have your response on that.
Could you brush her through real quick? I'll be right over. I'll go first. Then.
This is our
What is my
final question with the curl tour. What helped you, like, what did you learn the most from the curl tour, even though already having a good understanding?
I would say definitely the teamwork aspect, which I know is something we work on here a lot, but like the why we do it and like the directions we do it and all of that. And I would also say like really honing down on the stitching, because like we were just talking about that like really flimsy bone straight itty bitty weft, you can do a lot less stitches and it'd be okay in comparison to this. Like I feel like I learned a lot more with like the strength of extensions and like kind of anchoring them in and what needs to be anchored more, what needs to be anchored less, really how to get my corners flat. That is something we touched on a lot of too. And like I said in the beginning, really working together, like how when we always work like a clock and then counterclockwise, and that has really helped, like not only with extension clients but color clients, all that. Like me and you work a lot together, I feel like, and on days like that we can see a lot more people because we're cutting down half the time on everything.
Especially if you're newer to doing hair, it helps a lot, because even with like when I first started off foiling with like Jen or Chloe or Jackie, or doing extensions with Jen, like you have to learn to keep up the pace to be able to work faster.
Yeah, that did.
And keeping that momentum is a big one.
Okay.
All right, I'll be back, guys.
All right. Jackie, if you just want to step in where she stepped out, that would be fabulous. All right. Between the two of you, whoever wants to go first, same question to you. What did the curl tour do for you?
I would say for me, it definitely, for me, I feel like definitely stitching and placement. I feel like that was something that I always struggled with the most. Was just like bad stitching. Like my stitching was just bad, and I got pictures to prove it.
Side of my head.
Yeah. And I feel like just overall.
So
like,
let me talk about that real quick. What happens with bad stitching and when the wefts don't kind of ziplock at the top? Because this is another thing that is kind of crucial, because the Genius wefts, you can't ziplock them at the top because they will melt together, right? And that's not us knocking. Well, actually it is. I don't believe that that's the best product. I believe that our product is the best product. So, the stitching, if your stitching is not on point, what did happen to the side of my head?
well, it can cause tangles and mats and
The beads to go sideways.
sideways. It can also literally ruin hair.
Yeah, and the bead going sideways in my head was a
Yup.
nightmare. Whether you have curly hair or straight hair, if a bead goes sideways, it's going to loop and cause problems on the natural hair, because the bead has the natural hair. So if the natural hair loops, then you're going to be brushing against it, causing breakage on the natural hair that's in the bead.
And I think that's like to a lot of things, like why so many people have the idea that like extensions will ruin your hair because of the way that people stitch.
Yeah, poor install method. Okay, Jackie, what was yours? Biggest takeaway? I feel like our growth on the curl tour was the actual educating of hair. Stepping out of the box of doing and becoming the I know
Yeah,
that
like
that's true
being
too
able-
for Celia and Chloe as well. Like, where we
Like the why behind everything.
Yeah.
Like being able to put that into education. I
and
think.
say why you do what you do versus just doing what you do.
Exactly, because you're just like go through the motions when you're doing a client. You never really sit back and think about like, why am I doing X, Y, and
This,
Z?
right? Yeah. So when it's when you're actually having to train someone on the why, you have to think really hard and deep into that, and it stretches your brain a little bit more. Anything else? This is our last and final. We'll be wrapping this up. Jackie?
Are you asking me like
Yeah.
anything else, like as far as what I learned?
Yeah.
So the why, and then time management, which I feel like was what Chloe was saying, like being able to, stay on track so that the people who are taking the class get the most out of it.
All right. That's true. Jackie is trying to thread her needle, and that's
Sorry.
where her thoughts are. No, it's
not
totally
it.
fine.
It's not it. This thread is not
If you
it.
want to know the hardest part of the curl tour, it is threading your needle, people. Threading your needle. Nope. So, okay. That is a glimpse into us, and just a little bit of reference to what we struggled with in the beginning of our hair extension career. I hope this brought insight to you and value. If you don't already follow us on the Curly Girls Obsessions, check us out. We are on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, so you can physically watch them actually installing this first row of hair in my head today. And please follow or subscribe. That helps us grow, and see you next time.